Hello everyone, and welcome back to Trevor Watch. So, what is the creature for tonight, you may be wondering? Well, I'll give you a hint. He very recently made his debut in my Creepypasta Town spin-off series. He has also recently received an NPC in Garage Mopper. Need any more hints? Well, my dear Watson, it's elementary. You will be looking at none other than the Old Detective. The being known as the Old Detective was first spotted by Trevor on a date that remains unclear. The image shows a street in a tropical area, I'm guessing California due to the palms, but the location is not as important as the strange figure lurking in it. The being is tall, gangly, appearing bent and whacked out of shape. Its head disproportionately small compared to the rest of its body, bearing two small black slits for eyes. Notice the eerie red light that seems to emanate from its body. This tells me that this being is capable of a type of bioluminescence, which is the ability to allow animals or plants to create their own light. The creature is dressed like what some people would describe as a stereotypical detective, or a gangster that's been hit by a truck, but to me, it looks like a discount Indiana Jones, or a John Belushi that's been horribly messed up in production. Notice the almost erratic posing of the arms and legs. Trevor has stated that this is because he moves somewhat like an inflatable tube man. The caption under the image reads, "He felt childish, paranoid in a way reserved for old detective movies, but he was sure he'd glimpse someone following him, and even now he felt eyes on his back." This caption can be taken a variety of different ways. The words, "he'd glimpse someone following him," and "even now he felt eyes on his back," are likely coming from the person that took this image. However, the lines that "he felt childish and paranoid" lead to confusion. I don't know about you, but childish is not an adjective I would use if I were being stalked. And while I would feel paranoid, I wouldn't be the same kind of paranoid shown in old detective movies. It could also mean that the creature is shy and prefers to kill alone, with no one to bear witness. Or it could be capable of inflicting such paranoia onto others. That makes sense, as it would explain the odd emotions expressed in the caption. Perhaps maybe these emotions could even be the killer themselves, being felt in such extreme measure as to lead to self-harm or physical ailments. However, there is more. In response to a tweet, Trevor replied with the words, "I've got a crack in the case, hidden amongst glitched out cipher code. What this means is anyone's guess. Perhaps the creature is capable of speech, albeit blurred and distorted. There are a few other theories about this creature. One is called the experiment theory. This theory, and I'm reading from the wiki here, posits that the old detective may actually be a former human that was mutated or transformed in some way to its current appearance. The theory suggests that the person that became the creature was a subject of a psychological experiment involving people's emotions, specifically ones that the old detective exhibits and inflicts. The scientists may have been trying to push the limits of the human brain by exposing an emotionally weak mind to a situation that would induce severe anxiety and paranoia, like an intense detective movie. This overexposure to these intense emotions may have activated something in the brain that allowed the person to transform and mutate beyond recognition, and being able to inflict its experience onto others. An interesting theory, to say the least, but it is just one possibility. Another theory, called the supernatural theory, suggests that it is a supernatural entity that is taking on a human-like form. It could have been created due to overwhelming paranoia and anxiety in humans, manifesting into a single being of pure emotion, spreading this feeling to as many people as it can. It could also be a demonic entity, or a shapeshifter that feeds off of or takes delight out of its victim's fear and paranoia. This is further backed up by the fact that it has a distinctly human-like appearance, which could induce some sort of uncanny valley feeling, and that it deliberately stalks its victims, both of which allow it to induce the most amount of paranoia and anxiety in people. This suggests it is very knowledgeable in what it instills fear in humans. So, is it an experiment gone awry? Is it a supernatural ghost? Is it a children's drawing of a stereotypical detective that turned out looking like a spooky Inspector Gadget? The possibilities are endless. That was a brief look at the old detective, and I think we will need more time to crack the case. So I'll see you on the next job.